morning, guys. Welcome to What I Ate Wednesday. For breakfast today, I'm trying a new type of granola. It just happened that I ran out and I was looking at all the granola that were on sale and I chose this one because it wasn't any more expensive than the other ones. So this is pumpkin flax. It is just Western Family, which is Save On Foods generic brand. And it was just with the regular granola. It's not like, I know I've been seeing in so many people's from the States' photos of like Trader Joe's and Target. I think they have like rows of pumpkin stuff. This is just a normal flavor. I think it's out year round. However, I picked this to be in the fall, festive, autumn season with my breakfast and my eating. So pumpkin flax, yeah, I can see some flax seeds, some pumpkin seeds. Added then some vanilla almond milk into it so that it tastes a little more vanilla-y. But let's see what it tastes like. Pretty good. The taste is really good. There's like some puffed, yeah, there are. They're like puffed rice, like Rice Krispies in there, which I don't want. And I know that granola in general, you know, does have sugar and it's not as healthy as if you just have oatmeal, but usually it's, you know, I can squeeze by with it. But this, I'm pretty sure yeah, this must have a lot of sugar in it. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to say it. 9 grams and half a cup. That's a lot of sugar. Anyways, I'm gonna see what my other ones have, but I'm gonna eat this. Not in that much of a rush because I'm nice and early, but then I'm gonna take Molly. Oh, I thought she was coming in. She's over for some x-rays. Last week when I took her for lab work, it wasn't looking good. Her levels were really low. So they're like, don't let her come in contact with any dogs that could be sick because it'll definitely affect her more. And then it's like, come back next week and we'll repeat the blood work and then also do x-rays. So, and the x-rays are a little early. We weren't supposed to do x-rays for a few weeks, so. Fingers crossed that everything's okay and that her blood levels is back to normal. I'm a little nervous, but anyways, that's not part of What I Ate Wednesday, so I'm just going to eat my cereal. I don't like the puffed cereal in it. I want it all granola. I wouldn't buy this again. I'm going to be doing some teaching prep for this afternoon. We're getting into Halloween things, prepping for our concert on the 22nd. So less than a month. Anyway, so I'm having some tea and although I think I've had it now the past couple weeks, but still, the yummy cardamom French toast tea that was from David's Tea from last year. That was in the advent calendar, and then I loved it, and it was all sold out in Victoria. I had to get my sister to get me some in Vancouver. So it's by far my favorite tea and perfect for this sunny fall day. I'm home again and Molly is doing really well. Her lungs are all clear, no signs of cancer in it yet, and her blood work has gone back up again. So, mwah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You're so well. Yes. So right now I'm going to be making lunch. It's about 1:30 now. And I have a veggie burger cooking as well as some, onions. Not sure where that one went. And then I have some lettuce that I'm going to bake or put on the burger. And then I have some buns that are toasting right now. That's what it looks like. I put a little bit of the chipotle aioli on one side, tiny. So I'm just going to eat this and then go to work. Again, not taking any tea with me, just filling up my water bottle, and I'll check in with you guys at dinner time. I'm home from work, and for dinner, to keep up with the wonderful fall theme I seem to be doing, we are going to be making butternut squash fritters. So just shredded butternut squash with just 4 other ingredients, nice and easy. And then we're taking the easy way out. I'm going to peel this, but instead of grating it on a hand plate grater, that would take forever, we're going to put it in small chunks because I have a small food processor, but into the food processor and just get it shredded that way, and it takes a lot less time. Peeling it, getting the skin off first. I mean, don't want to use a knife and cut too much off of it, so that's why we're just using a veggie peeler. So right now it's a bit slippery, so you just have to be careful, but just cutting it into smaller slices, and there will be some seeds at the bottom, but then I'll scoop those out. And again, if you have a bigger food processor, then you can probably do the whole thing, but I'm just gonna do it in smaller chunks. And I'll still do a little bit more because some pieces are still big, but for the most part, you have it nice and small as if you just grated it by hand. So we have roughly 5 cups of the shredded butternut squash. It was about a 3-pound squash. And then we're going to add in 2/3 cups of flour. Now I'm using chickpea flour. It just gives it, it's more of like a thicker type of flour, but you could use anything. And then also 2 eggs that have been lightly beaten. So we're adding that, and you can also use a flax egg, basically anything that you want to bind this together. And then for flavoring, we're adding some sage. A little bit. And we're gonna go with that. The tricky part is because we have eggs, I can't taste this before they're cooked, but that's okay. So this is the first batch testing. Ooh, yes. I had them on for about, I'd say 3 minutes each side. Oh, and that one's not quite done. And this one I put in last, so I'm gonna let that one sit a little bit longer. Now they're done. And so I'm just going to put them on a plate that is lined with a paper towel. I didn't use too much oil on them, so yeah, it's not that bad. But if you just put it right on the pan, or on a plate I mean, it's likely just to get soggy, and you still have a couple more to make. So yeah, instead of just doing a whole bunch of oil, I just sprayed a little oil so they're not actually like frying too much. So I have I'd say about 2.5 tablespoons, maybe just 2, and then I flatten it out and then put it on the pan and flatten it a little more. And since there's egg in there when that cooks, then that makes it nice and crispy and keeps it nice and bound. Because here you can see it's cracking, but once it's on there, it goes good. So we have our stack. We have about 4 more still finishing up that are just they weren't this beautiful circular shape, so they didn't make it on the picture. And then just the remaining bits just as a hash on the stove. So that's what they look like. I put some onion or some sour cream and then green onions on top. And then we're also having a salad. I've been snacking on my carrots already with the toasted sesame dressing. I took the top one with all the stuff, but I'll just take a little bit. Let's see how this is. They're not bad. I definitely like having the onion on top. If I were to make these again, I would probably put onion in them. Honestly, they don't really taste like that much. So I'd probably go, well, sage, I don't know. I may put something else in there, like basil or rosemary could be good. But I guess you're trying to think of flavors that complement the squash. Yeah, I don't know what flavor else I'd add, but I'd definitely add onions in there. Maybe I'd do like completely change the flavor profile, but like onions and garlic, and maybe some hot sauce. But they're good, so we're gonna have that with the salad. No protein this evening, that's okay. And then just a light dinner because I'm going to go off to dance class now. I'm back from dance and feel like making something sweet, so I am going to attempt to make, I don't want down to here in case they don't turn out, but I'm only doing a half recipe, but then not like pre-halving it, only halving as I go along. So hopefully, in the past I've done something similar, not this recipe, and then halfway through I forget that I'm halving things and screw it all up. Anyway, so I did half a cup of water. Main thing was I just didn't want to have to use so much butter. So a quarter cup of butter. That's gonna melt. A tablespoon of sugar, brown sugar, and some salt. Now we're just gonna mix this until the butter all melts. Now it started to boil, so we're gonna whisk in the flour, half a cup of flour, until all of the flour lumps and bumps have gone away. Now we have a nice dough ball, and then I'm just using my spatula now to kind of move it around, and I have it on low heat, and just for a minute. And then I'm going to add my mixture that had its eggs and a teeny bit of vanilla. You're supposed to use 3 eggs, so of course halving that to 1.5 is a little tricky, but hopefully I did okay. So now I added in a little bit of the egg vanilla mixture, just kind of mixing it, building it in, and then continuing to do it till you add all of it, and then it should kind of look like mashed potatoes. And then after that, we're going to put it in a piping bag. They're actually going quite well. I'm kind of surprised. But you have to put them on a double pan. Otherwise the bottom will get brown too quickly. So yeah, but they're 2 and 2 and then on parchment paper. And I have my sugar, my cinnamon all ready to go. Now they say you're supposed to actually let this sit in the oven while the oven is off for about 10 minutes just so they don't go flat. But I had another batch I needed to put in the oven, so we're just gonna wing it. So we have this. We're gonna put it in our sugar mixture. Oh, I guess it works. I was so worried that it wouldn't stick to it. Ooh. I'm gonna put it there. Let's try it. That's really good. Actually, I can probably put a little bit more cinnamon on it in the sugar mixture, but they're so delicious. I'll see if I can try to show you what it looks like. It's nice and fluffy inside too. See how airy it is? Ooh. I could probably leave them in the oven a little bit more. I just didn't want them to burn. And of course it doesn't have that golden like oily color because it's not deep fried, it's baked. And I didn't put any extra like butter or oil on the pan at all. But they're actually really good, and honestly the shoe dough was not that hard to make. I thought it was gonna go wrong times, but excellent. So I have a little bit more that I can put on that one. And those ones are in the oven. Those ones now are a little bigger and straighter. Now I decided to make something to go with it. Doing a little chocolate sauce, similar to like when you at Disney, they don't have the churro bits at Cozy Cone anymore, but they have like a full churro with a caramel sauce. But I liked it when they used to have the chocolate, so I'm making that. I don't have any actual chocolate, so I just use water, sugar, and oh, so much sugar today. But I danced, so I worked some calories off. Water, sugar, and cocoa powder, and then a little bit of salt, a dash of salt, and then once it has boiled, then I'm gonna take it off the heat and add a tiny bit of vanilla. I blame all my baking because we're watching the Great British Bake Off. We're like 2 weeks behind, but they were making churros. They used the deep fryer, but I was like, oh, that doesn't look that hard actually. And then what I wanted to make today instead, I wanted to do laced pancakes to make a pancake batter. And I used to have like a little tube or like a like a squeeze bottle, a small squeeze bottle, where you could do fine details, but I can't find it. So that's what I was gonna do tonight, and then I went looking for my squeeze bottle. I don't know where it is. So then I was like, what else could I do? I don't feel like just like a cookie. I want to try something new. And I mean, we don't have chocolate chips. We don't have a lot of stuff. So I was like, what can I make with the ingredients that I have on hand? So churro was just the natural choice. And I wanted something that I could bake. I didn't want to deep fry anything. It's unhealthy enough with all the sugar. No need to deep fry things. So, oh, why is this not... taking forever to boil. That's okay. I still have things in the oven, another batch in the oven. Ooh, those are coming. I added a little bit more sugar, or like cinnamon, I mean, on these ones, so they look a little bit darker. Those were still the first batch. So good. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.